So I thought I'd start off by telling you why I wear sunglasses when I make these videos. I don't have the anti-glare coating on these glasses lenses. It wears off too quick. I wind up having to buy new glasses every 9 months to a year, and it's just expensive. So the downside of that is that when I'm on camera, uh, my regular lenses just light up like a pair of headlights. But if I clip on these sunglasses, I clip on my sunglasses over the lenses, it doesn't do that so much. So dim the lights, try to adjust things as much as I can, but I still, it's a choice of wear sunglasses and look, kind of pretentious, or put the sunglasses on and or is wear the sunglasses and look pretentious, or have glowing alien eyes um coming out. So so there's that. But I really don't want to talk about why I'm wearing my sunglasses inside. I would really rather talk about today, the reason why I'm making this video is I wanted to talk about why I believe in God. And the fact of the matter is, it's not not one specific reason that I came to a point of faith. After I got to a point of faith, I had some supernatural experiences that confirmed my faith. But getting there, it was a lot of, it was a lot of things. It was a lot of things. So, any one of them, is not a sufficient answer for a skeptic. But this channel is the day after Pentecost. You've had the Pentecostal experience, and now what? So I'm talking to believers, maybe mostly believers. I don't know. Anybody can see this video. But there's one specific thing that I do like to tell people, and that is, it's about the time I met the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's my favorite band in the whole world. Been my favorite band for decades now. I've always loved the Chili Peppers. Ever since their song "Under the Bridge" first came out on MTV back in the early '90s. I think it was like '91. "Under the Bridge" came out. Since 1991, I've been a fan of them. At any rate, so in 2003, I got a chance to meet them when they announced their tours for Atlanta, or they announced their tour dates for their album "By the Way," and they were coming to Atlanta and Bossier City, Louisiana, and I lived right smack dab in the middle of them. I lived outside of a place called Starkville, Mississippi. If you follow college football, you know about Starkville, Mississippi. But so I lived there in between Atlanta and Bossier, and they announced their tour dates in January. So I call up my buddy, my best friend in the whole world. I'm like, dude, we're going. Save your money. As soon as these tickets go on sale, you got to order them. I'll have my money to you real quick. He had to order them because he was handicapped, and if he ordered them, we got the best seats possible. So he orders them in March, and when he ordered them, I called up my childhood friend's mom. This guy's name was Mike. And Mike, he was my friend and all, yeah. But he was 5 years older than me. He was really more of like, a big brother. If anybody out there has ever been in the Big Brother, Big Sister program, he was really more of a big brother to me. His mom and my mom were best buddies. We lived in the same neighborhood. He really did a lot to mentor me. I appreciated it. But my parents moved away. They went a few hours in one direction. His parents moved away by going a few hours in another direction. I was in a boarding school that may or may not have served juvenile delinquents, troubled youth. And he was in college. So, I always thought I would see him again. I just didn't know how. But I was like, well, our families are just too close. I'll see him again. But he got brain cancer, and he wasn't doing so well. He would have his times where he was doing pretty good, but then a lot of times he just wasn't. He lost his eyesight twice. He went blind, got his eyesight back, and went blind again. And I have no way to understand what that must have felt like. I can't, and I don't want to know what that felt like. But I called his mom up in March, and I was like, hey, me and my best friend, we're going to be in Bossier City on this day. We're coming. I want to see Mike. Tickets came in May, and we go to the concerts in June. And the first one we went to was Atlanta. And I didn't meet the Chili Peppers in Atlanta, and I really, really wanted to. I was like, this would be great, because then I'm not under any stress. I want to meet them. Tell them how they're my favorite band. I won't be under any stress in Bossier City. It's already going to be kind of an intense visit because of who we're going to see before the concert. And if I can just get meeting them out of the way, get my bucket list thing out of the way, then cool. But it didn't happen. What did happen, though, was me and my best friend, we picked up another friend of mine. Here, I got a picture of it. Yeah, so I'm the tall guy with the long hair, with my arm around the Persian girl. My best friend, he's next to the girl. And then there's another really good friend of mine who went to Auburn. His name is Chris. And he's the one facing away from the camera. And then the girl I've got my arm around, her sister was the one taking this picture. But we met, we picked up, our other friend Chris, and unfortunately, back in 2012, on Christmas morning, Chris died in an accident. It was really, really stings, but at least have this picture of us. But so we pick up Chris, meet a couple of girls at the show, really hit it off. I really hit it off with one of them. And then after the show was over, went back to, went back home, got ready for the next leg of our trip. But it was so far out being in Atlanta. Snoop Dogg opened for the Chili Peppers, and it was hilarious watching a crowd of, I'd say, 16,000 people throwing up. It was all white kids, all suburban white kids, and they were all throwing up gang signs, for Snoop Dogg. I was like, dude, you are not a Crip at all. So that was funny. But we get back to Mississippi, after having an amazing show, meeting some really cool girls, and sleep long enough, pack up some more bags, some more supplies, get a care package put together for Mike, and we head out to Bossier City, Louisiana. We get there. I call up Mike's mom, say, hey, we're here. I called her from a payphone. It's like, hey, we're here. She's like, what do you mean you're here? We're here in Bossier. She's like, I completely forgot you were coming. But she tells us, come on over. I understood why she forgot, the stress of taking care of an adult child who is dying of cancer. Easy to forget a lot of things. So I wasn't upset about that. We get to Mike's house, and when we get to the door, his mom answers, says, I'm sorry, Mike fell asleep before he could get here. He's in his bedroom, and I really don't want to wake him. So that's fine. I understand. And so for about an hour, me and my buddy, his name was Hawes, by the way. Me and my buddy Hawes, we were hanging out. uh, telling his mom all the adventures of being in college. I tell her about how at the time I was working as a security guard for a small circuit professional wrestling troupe. And that was so much fun, so much fun. Once again, a story for another video. But yeah, a girl whose daddy was high ranking in the Ku Klux Klan fell in love with me while I had that job. Funny story. Anyways, so we tell him, we're telling his mom about all the stuff that has been going on in all the years since since we had last seen each other. Pass off the care package, which was some comic books. Mike was really big into comic books, always had been. Even though his mom got him into athletics and ROTC and all this other stuff, he loved comic books. So we brought him some of those. We brought him some Beavis and Butthead DVDs. This was 2003, and Beavis and Butthead was still kind of relevant. We brought him those, and we also had a DVD of a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert video. Idea being, he couldn't come to the concert with us. We would have taken him if he could have gone, but he couldn't make it to the concert with us, so we left a concert video for him, bring the show to him, so to speak. And then we got a list of all the things that he might want for another care package. We were going to mail everything to him. When we got home, go to the show. Show was amazing. There's only half of the tickets sold. People in Bossier just really didn't care about the Chili Peppers. Only half the tickets sold. And the Chili Peppers, their response to this was they played a set that was real heavy from albums like Mother's Milk, Uplift Mofo Party Plan. A lot of their B-sides, they played Soul to Squeeze, which is my favorite song of theirs. I even have some of the lyrics of it tattooed on my back. So it was my favorite band playing my favorite song, which was awesome. And then after the show was over, it's like, I am meeting the Chili Peppers. That's it. I'm meeting them. Me and my buddy Hawes, we're hanging out by the tour buses. All fenced off, of course, but we're hanging out there for about an hour and a half. And finally, they come out. And here's a picture. So there's a picture of me and Chad Smith, the drummer, and my ticket stub. Now, the other three guys, Anthony, Flea, and John, they spoke for just a couple of seconds. Basically just thanking us for coming out to the show, and then they left. Chad hung out, and he made sure that everybody got a picture. Everybody got to tell their story. Everybody got an autograph. He's a really, really awesome dude. I was extremely grateful for that experience. Extremely grateful that he would be an ambassador to his fans that way. But I got to talk to him, got to tell him why his music was so important to me. Thank him for putting on the show. Got to do all that. And me and Hawes, we left. Oh, and Hawes was actually the one taking this picture. He was in his wheelchair that night. And that's why the picture's taken at such a steep upward angle, because Chad Smith and I, we're both pretty tall. And, he was short already. And sitting in his wheelchair didn't help anything. So that's always, kind of funny to think about. We're just towering over the camera like a pair of giants. So we get home. We've been awake for over 25 hours at this point. Once we get home, Hawes drops me off at my place, and I pass out. I'm exhausted. The sun has been up for a while. I pass out. Wake up the next day. It's still that day, but I wake up probably around 3, 4, 4:30 in the afternoon, somewhere around there. Call up this girl that I knew, and she came and hung out. We had dinner, watched some movies, all that. Went to sleep at my place. We woke up in the morning and went to my mom's house to get something to eat. And when we got to my mom's house, she told me, she's like, Shmuly, I hate to tell you this. I hate to tell you this right now, but, Mike just died. And I was floored. I was like, there's no way he just died. No way. I was just there. Seriously, I was just there. It was like 36 hours ago. And she's like, I know. And she said, but there's more. And as it turns out, Mike's last memories were he was in his wheelchair, sitting at the door of his bedroom, listening to me and Hawes converse with his parents, and talk about everything with the living in a punk rock flop house while trying to finish college, and working as a security guard for the small time pro wrestling group, and Hawes and his adventures with spinal surgery, and his experience recovering from different things, and being handicapped. And Mike, he was listening to the whole thing and just soaked it in like a sponge. And after we left, he had his mom read the comic books to him, until her eyes hurt and couldn't do it anymore. And then he listened to the Beavis and Butthead DVDs, went to sleep, woke up, talked a whole bunch more about the visit, watched the DVDs again, watched the concert video, and then went to sleep and never woke up. Just never woke up. And, I found out, about 10 minutes after my mom found out. The thing is, when you stop and think about it, Mike was on death's doorstep when I got there. I planned, I first made the plan to go see him in January of 2003, early January of 2003. And in March, ordered the tickets and contacted his mom. And then in June, I got there. I was actually able to, have some contact with them. During all that time, Mike's other friends, the ones that, a lot of Mike's friends weren't coming and visiting him anymore. He was too sickly. He wasn't getting a lot of visitors at all. And, that includes family. From my understanding, I could be wrong on that, but just not a lot of people were coming to see him. And out of everybody that knew him, everybody that was close to him, I was the last person I was the one that he hadn't seen yet. I was the one that had been no contact with yet. And he stayed alive just long enough for me to see him. Just long enough for me to let him know that there's still people out there that care, that I still cared, that I appreciated him. And so he stayed alive long enough for that, and a little bit passed so that he could enjoy my gifts. And then he died. Stayed alive long enough for me to see him and enjoy what I brought for him. I don't think that's a coincidence.